What's up, family? This Brother Ron with Black Media Incorporated. We are down here in Jacksonville, Florida, and we just had the march, the Trayvon rally march at the Jacksonville landing. And many business owners down at the landing did not want the march to take place at the landing. So what we did, we met in front of the landing, and then we marched from the landing to the courthouse. And we had the rally. It was very successful. A lot of people showed up, even some people from out of town, which I thought that was very interesting. For others to come from out of town here in Jacksonville, Florida, to help support Trayvon Martin's family. It's a very unfortunate situation that this young man had to lose his life because he was profiled because he had a hoodie on. But my number one question to everyone, what crime did Trayvon Martin commit in order for him to deserve an execution at the hands of George Zimmerman? Now, if anybody had the right to self-defense or stand your ground law, was Trayvon. And he never had a chance because Zimmerman, of course, had a gun. So our children are losing their lives because they're being profiled because of the way they dress, their fashion. Now, every child in America has a hoodie. I even have one. Especially in the winter months when it's cold, we just about have sweatsuits, two-piece sweatsuits with a hoodie on the back of it. And of course, I heard it was cool that day, and it was kind of like raining, raining a little bit. So Trayvon had a right to have on his hoodie, especially if his parents bought it for him. He had every right to have on his hoodie. But black man, this is what I want to address to you. Number one, murders like Trayvon Martin is a tragedy because in times past, what you have done with the hoodies, going in convenience stores, robbing people, sticking up your own brother, has made it bad for black men and young black men like Trayvon, because we are already stereotyped because of the color of our skin. But not only that, it goes even deeper because racism, I told you in one video, is just like an onion. Once you peel one layer back, there's another layer. So we are fighting all kind of racism in America at the hands of a white imperialist system. But on the other hand, black men, you have even made it worse for us by robbing convenience stores, going in with your hoodies on. We see on TV all the time doing it. And also I've seen a television show where some white guys was going in there robbing convenience stores with their hoodies on, trying to conceal their identity. So when you do things like that, it makes Trayvon Martin's murder an absolute shame. Now on the other hand, let me deal with you, white man, because you ain't no different, because you do the same and commit the same crimes too as well. You just don't get the publicity of some crimes committed by blacks. You don't get the publicity like a black man do, and you definitely don't get the sentence like the black man gets. But racial profiling is a very serious thing that we've always had to deal with as people of color in this nation, and it'll never die. It'll always be racial profiling. I just remember recently, I just bought another car, but I had an Audi, and the police officer stopped me three times within the year when I was driving that Audi at night. At first, they told me my tag light was out, which that was a lie. My tag light would never went out. Then another officer stopped me and told me I had one of my tail lights was I think my tail light was out. That light wasn't out. And then as I got out of my car, walked in the back, I said my light cannot be out. And they walked back with a smirk grin on their face back to their car. They was racial profiling me, wanting to know who was this black man driving this Audi. But the car had a lot of mechanical problems. I got rid of the car. But anyway, I've experienced it several times. I see it experienced all the time, going up and down Myrtle Avenue with black guys who are driving Mercedes or nice cars that they can afford. Number one, white man, we're not all selling drugs. We're not all out robbing and stealing. We're not all out doing crime. You got a lot of clean-cut young men like Trayvon, and a lot of other millions and millions of more black men like Trayvon who works hard for a living. We love our families. We go to church. We're trying to do what is right within our own family and our own community. So number one, racial profiling is wrong, because if you're going to do it to us, do it to your own people, because they sell drugs. You see now more drug busts and drug raids on the methamphetamine labs. which has always existed in the country and in those rural areas up in the woods where we don't hang out at, but y'all young people hang out at all the time, and older white men hang out all the time, making moonshine and making meth labs. Now, if you want a racial profile, start with your own race first, and I guarantee you will begin to pull up and pull out more criminals and more criminal activity within your own race first before you will our race. And the only reason you do it is because you got the power to do it. You got the you own and control the judicial system to do it. Black folks, and this is what I've been talking about for quite some time on my videos on YouTube about state formation and why we need our black-owned everything. So we can guard our own community and guard and protect our own children, because whites will guard and protect their own children. And by the way, have you ever heard of a black cop killing a white teenager? Have you ever heard of a white man dying in police custody of the custody of a black police officers? No, you never heard of it. Just think about that for a minute. Think very hard, because you're gonna have to do some serious research to find a story like that. You never even heard of it. But countless times, black men has died in the custody of a wannabe cop like Zimmerman or a trained certified police officer. Why? Just here in Jacksonville, not too long ago, when we hosted the Super Bowl, here, a black man here live on the east side. They called for domestic disturbance. This man was drinking some beer and what have you. They got there, handcuffed the man, the black man. This rookie cop ended up slamming him to the ground, breaking his neck, killing him. A week before the Super Bowl, and the NAACP had to come down here and hold a march during Super Bowl weekend. Our people, we are here marching on Super Bowl weekend because of racial profiling and a racial motivated killing. So it exists, it's real, and we need to deal with it. Now, black folks, we are in dire straits. We are in a situation right now. I'm telling you right now, whatever the verdict come back to be, I don't care. We are served injustice on a political platform. If they come back with a verdict on Zimmerman and that no good, low down Bill Smith, the chief of police down in Sanford, who was an ex-homicide investigator before he became the chef down there, he had a ton of experience in figuring out whether or not who committed the murder. He knew that guy Zimmerman was guilty. He needed to be fired, and he needed to be placed on trial, arrested, and prosecuted as well for Trayvon's murder. But we on the edge of our seat. America is on the edge of their seats right now, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the verdict is going to be. And black America, I'm telling you, they're waiting on us to riot. They're waiting. The military is waiting. The National Guard is waiting. The police departments all over the United States are getting ready for guerrilla warfare with us. And I'm telling you right now, in a time like this in 2012, black folks, we better be ready to do what we got to do. And I don't care if it's staying foot to foot on and hand to hand combat with them in order to get justice, because we already know that blacks are going to riot all around the world. We're going to definitely down there in Sanderson. And if it's not in Sanford, in Sanford, they're going to do it in Miami. But anyway, this thing, I hear a reporter saying that the marches are starting some type of racial division. Let me ask you one question. When have you known that blacks and whites in this country to be racially united? Can anybody tell me that? Can't hear you. Never has been and never will be. You've been tolerated, but you have not been racially accepted in an all-white society. So black man, don't slip up this time. It might be one of the greatest start of black liberation movements we ever needed in this country. Let's come together, be together, stay together, and do what we got to do in order for this madness to stop. I'm Ron Washington with Black Media Incorporated, and I'll see you on the next video.